Hi, I'm Audrey. Welcome back. I'm your local junior Girl Scout reporter here covering the Fast Pitch finale at Riverside County Innovation Month. Hello. So, my question is, what is SynGrid?
SendGrid is an email delivery company. We handle making sure that email is delivered for customers to your inbox.
Awesome, very interesting. What advice would you give any entrepreneur who wants to create a business?
I think that the main thing is to be flexible and not give up. It's a matter of continue to keep trying, and failure is only when you stop trying to succeed.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Sucks. I'll let that sink in for a second. I only have 5 minutes, but that's kind of the main point. One of the big reasons that contacting customer service sucks is because every time you call in, you get the infamous robot. To do this, press 1. To do that, press 2. Please listen carefully while we drive you insane. This technology, known as the Interactive Voice Response System, is a $50 billion market. Everyone from your dentist to Verizon Wireless has one, and every end customer hates it. It was developed in 1971, and it's been driving customers crazy for 47 years. Customers find it difficult to navigate. They often try to get around it. Agent, 000. You do anything you can to avoid that system. And it often ends up disengaging customers. The solution: repeal and replace the IVR. ServiceMob is replatforming the IVR into a beautiful mobile platform. Instead of listening to 9 options 5 levels deep on the phone, why not, we learn 50 times faster with our eyes than our ears. Why not tap through those menus with ease? Why not digitally transmit your 16-digit account number directly to the agent's desktop? Why do I have to remember, my security question, which I assuredly don't remember? Why do, my last 4 of the social, my best friend in 3rd grade, the name of my maternal grandmother's favorite pet? I mean, these are things that we just don't remember, and they make customer service suck even more. That's what ServiceMob is trying to do, and so we have the application to really solve this problem. Our credo is to never wait on hold again. Our core is the ultimate respect for the end customer's time. And how do we do this? We use artificial intelligence. Our waitbot intelligently waits for you. Chatbots chat, waitbots wait. And how will we do that? We essentially have technology that can take the large trees that companies have invested in and condense those down into very easy visual menus for you to tap through. We determine the right destination. Once you know that you have an on-demand problem with your Spectrum cable, we'll get you right into that queue and you're waiting. And guess what? You're not tethered to your phone listening to bad elevator music. You get a call back when someone's available. And we can navigate and deliver that call using our machine learning algorithms. So being able to time and navigate those trees takes a lot of machine learning, a lot of trial and error that we can use through our code to actually learn and navigate those trees, and we could do it so that, frankly, you don't have to. 13, the number of hours that the average American spends on hold, man, woman, and child, on hold across all the different service providers that you have. Think of your insurance companies, airlines, wireless companies, cable companies. What could you do in 13 hours? You could fly to London in 13 hours. You could do a lot. You could run a few marathons in 13 hours. Okay, so it's a lot of time. But what does that really mean? In perspective, that's 2.7 billion hours of wasted productivity in the United States alone. Equivalently, that's 4,100 lifetimes. At ServiceMob, we really believe that we are saving lives. If that was a country, that $41 billion of lost productivity would rank 89th between Panama and Turkmenistan year over year. We are in market and we are post revenue. So we have We've been live for 6 months and we have 6 enterprise customers. I think Scott mentioned 2 companies right here in the Inland Empire, so shout out to my Inland Imperialists. We have Specialty Enzymes, Hello Tech, Service Titan. We also have 3 companies that I can't name just based on NDA, but I could, tell you that some of our software as a service companies. We have one large health insurer. A few of them, one of them is publicly traded. 22% improvement in Net Promoter Score. Dollar for dollar, this is the best way to improve your customer experience. It's a no-brainer. Customers love it. But not only that, it's great for the companies themselves. 13% improvement in deflections because you can do that over the phone. 5% decrease in handle time and 11% improvement in labor. We're a great team. We started out at MIT, and let's make customer service great again. Thank you.
All right, thank you. My name is Mr. Pat, and I'm for Project Techspiration. Now, as you can see, there is a lack of diversity, right, in technology. We all know this, right? But why is that? Well, let me show you. Children from underrepresented groups don't strive for careers in STEM. That's science, technology, engineering, and math when they grow up. Now, why is that? Well, here's one big reason. Children can't be what they can't see, right? Now, I asked my daughter who's in 3rd grade. I said, Madison, you ever seen an engineer before? She said, no. I said, okay, do you know any famous engineers? She said, no. I said, do you know any engineers that are girls? She said, no. And then she asked me a question. I said, what? She said, Daddy, what's an engineer? I'm like, oh, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So, the Obama White House issued a report on the influence of media on STEM, and they found that, look, that media can inspire kids to study STEM subjects, right, and explore career pathways, and also educate parents, but most importantly, connect the classroom, right, what they're doing in the classroom to the world outside, right? So it's all these reasons that we created Project Techspiration, a nonprofit. Now, we are finding innovative ways to connect STEM, right, to career pathways for elementary and middle school students. In other words, we're showing kids at a very young age career choices, right, in a fun and entertaining way. And we're giving them their why. Why I should be in school. Why I should be excited about science, technology, engineering, math, and even art. Now, speaking of fun and entertaining, check this out. Techspiration with Mr. Pat. That's right. We are developing a groundbreaking kids technology show with PBS for our region and beyond. So the kids are going to see the latest in technology like drones and, self-driving cars and all of that stuff, right? But here's a big thing. Why is it groundbreaking? It's groundbreaking because of me, Mr. Pat, the host, a person of color. I'm half black, half Asian. I'm Blasian. Project Techspiration, that's right. These are the people that are getting it started, our co-founders. Now, there's Jose and Alfonso. We started another company, for-profit, called Kids That Code. And we've been teaching kids computer programming, game design, and web development since 2013. So we do have some experience with creating original content and curriculum. But we've added since then our grant writer and our web developer and our video production person, right? Now, there's only so much you can fit in a TV show. That's why most of our information will be online. We like to think of it as like career day, every day. And the kids will see the latest technology, they'll see career pathways, and also they'll be able to have fun with related games and activities. But the best part are the inspiring stories of STEM role models like this one. This is about Jose Hernandez. That's him with the hat. Now, he grew up as a migrant farmer picking vegetables and also fruit in Northern California. But he always had a dream, and that dream was to go into space, right? And yes, he had a lot of challenges, but he held on to that dream, and it got him through college, right? So as soon as he could, he applied for the space program, and he was rejected. And then he applied the second year, and he got rejected. And then he applied the third year and he got rejected. He applied the fourth year and got rejected. He applied 11 times and got rejected. But that 12th time, booyah! There's Jose chilling on the space shuttle, bro. That's right there. Now, here's Jose Hernandez, an American hero, right? He is a STEM role model for underrepresented kids, and he just guaranteed that he'll be our first guest on our TV show. All right. Now, we've gained a lot of traction. Check out these major VC-funded companies and all these organizations from across the nation who said, yes, we're on board, we love your project. And here's the cool thing. These companies are coming to our region because they're going to be our in-studio guests demonstrating the latest technology for an audience of kids. How cool is that? Now, our growth strategy, we are taking this nationwide. We're going to partner up with other nonprofits, government and educational institutions, and we're targeting teachers. We want them to adopt our program, so we're giving them exclusive career day content and curriculum. Now, how much is this going to cost? $200,000 to get our nonprofit. That's right, fully operational, fully staffed and self-sustaining, and we'll need $30,000 for the pilot episode of our TV show. Now compare that with the $8 million it took to bring Sesame Street to TV. Now, judges, nonprofit ideas that have gone on to actually inspire millions. Now, I know you guys. You would support this in a heartbeat, and I hope you support Project Texpiration. Thank you.
But extremely warm Palm Springs, California. Can we just start off by giving a hand for everyone else that has presented today? I think everyone did an awesome job, and I just want to recognize them. I'm so impressed with what everyone's done so far. So let me get into a little bit about me and why I'm the right guy for this job. I have an MBA, and I have 10 years of experience as an executive at marketing and development firms. This is important because this is in the marketing space, and the development is important because we're going to need to develop an app. And I've been doing that my whole career. Finally, I have a large following of about 500,000 social media followers that I can leverage to promote this brand and gain traction. So let me get into the problem. I want to introduce you to an Uber driver. You guys might know him a little better as Mr. Bean. Any of you guys recognize him? So he's been moonlighting as an Uber driver because the movie industry hasn't been going that well. And he told me a few things that are important to know. Number one, he said that Uber drivers only make about $3 an hour. Did you know that? That's below the poverty line. Number two, there are about 2 billion Uber rides last year alone. So there's a massive captive audience that's not being monetized. And thirdly, the advertisers, traditional marketing is dying, right? Commercials, billboards, people are looking for new ways to advertise. So we wanted to come up with a solution for that. And that's the Deal Drive display. And that's here what this looks like. So what it is basically is it's a tablet, and it is connected to a headrest mount that goes on the back of the headrest in an Uber. And I like to call it the Deal Drive TV because the T stands for targeted, because we can target specific demographics. So if there's a younger millennial, and let's say they're in SoCal, we can maybe target them with Coachella Fest ads. And I like to say the V is for viable and scalable because you guys have probably been in a taxi in New York or LA and seen these in the back. So we're just taking that same model and applying it to rideshare vehicles. So here's how it works. Super simple. Number one, drivers sign up on our app. We get them out a free tablet. Number two, the advertisers display targeted ads on our platform. And number three, passengers enjoy relevant content. And I say relevant content and enjoy because it's going to be content that's targeted towards them, so it's not going to feel like an ad, it's going to feel like something that they're interested in. The revenue model is simple. We're making our money from ads, and then also from taking a transaction fee from any purchases that are made on screen. There's some other secondary ways in which we might make money, such as hotspot access for internet, and also screen mirroring, if they want to just bypass the ads and use the tablet to watch YouTube videos or cat in space YouTube videos, whatever they want to watch. So the go-to-market strategy is we're going to have an exclusive pilot program for the top Uber drivers to guarantee a high level of impressions for advertisers. And we're going to scale city by city. So to give you guys an idea of what that city by city looks like, as you can see, Los Angeles has 21,000 drivers alone. and so on and so forth. So we want to scale starting with California and then go out from there. The market for rideshare is about $7.2 billion in revenue in 2016 alone. Here's what the competition looks like. I think what this shows is that the space is validated. There's interest in the space, but what's important to know about the competitors is that they're all in the infant stages. No traction, no investment, hasn't really taken off. And I think two other things that are important to mention are they have a very high barrier for entry. And by that I mean you have to pay to sign up to use their app, or you have to pay for the tablet. This makes it tough for a guy that's making $3 an hour like Mr. Bean, right? The other thing is, we have a secret sauce for getting our ads on the platform. I saw that for some of them, they would send drivers into pizza shops, local pizza shops, to try to get them on the advertising platform. They shouldn't be doing that, neither should we. So we're gonna partner with Clear Channel, Lamar, these advertising partners to bring in the ads for us. We have a killer management team, CTO with 25 plus years, an MBA, Master's in Technology, a COO who has 2 Masters as well, and lots of COO experience. So to recap, we have a unique offering, large market potential, huge, a solid management team, and at this point, Mr. Bean and I are ready for questions. Thank you.
I'm Kirsten Gallagher with the Laughing Lizard Adventure Park. Anyone who lives in Temecula Valley and has kids knows just how hard it is to find activities for them that are fun, engaging, and close to home. And if your kids span in ages between elementary and high school, it's impossible to find anything the whole family can enjoy together. Well, I'm excited to share with you that this fall, the Laughing Lizard Adventure Park is coming to our community, and it will provide adventure, exhilaration, and fun for the whole family. If you're not familiar with what an adventure park is, it's a mentally and physically stimulating challenge. You will be safely secured in the air by a harness and jumping from log to log or zipping through the sky on a skateboard. This is a relatively new industry in the US, but it's rapidly growing across the country, and it just hit $1 billion this past year. And in California, it's virtually untapped. So now is the ideal time to break into this market in Temecula. Temecula is an ideal climate to bring this outdoor adventure operation to our community. We have the perfect weather conditions to operate year-round, which only 43% of operators across the country are able to do. Additionally, we have a thriving tourism industry with 2.7 million visitors annually visiting Temecula Valley. And finally, we have an affluent local population who's looking for adventure opportunities. The Laughing Lizard Adventure Park is going to include the Adventure Park, which is 65 interconnected elements for ages 8 through adult and all skill levels. We're going to have the Mini Explorers course for our young guests who are ages 4 to 8, and then finally we'll have a Team Challenge Center that'll provide exclusively facilitated team building for corporate groups and nonprofit groups. These 3 different revenue streams are going to optimize our operations, and it's going to be able to give us the ability to tap into all different target audiences, 3 diversified target audiences. We are attracting locals through themed nights, such as Sip and Zip events or Ninja Warrior competitions. We're going to attract our tourists by tapping into the Visit Temecula Valley campaign that's already successful and is creating the ideal itineraries for our visitors. And finally, we'll attract our organizations by incorporating our brand as the premier team building experience in Southern California. We do have some indirect local competition, but as you can see through this chart, none of them offers the diversity of experience or the competitive pricing structure. Our revenue model is pay to play, and it's only going to cost $68 for the adult course. For the students, it's only $45, and for the kids course, it's only $35 for an all-day experience. The Team Challenge Center is a customizable experience, so that's going to average $50 a person. We're projecting 5-year revenue growth of $15 million and relatively low operating expenses, so our EBITDA will average $1 million annually. I'm Kirsten Gallagher, and I'm leading the team, and I'm extremely thankful to have a strong group of partners and advisors with me. We are currently in process of securing financing and the property at this moment, and we've just entered the design phase, and we're working towards a grand opening late this fall. The total project startup cost is $2.2 million, and that's a combination of personal and private investment. You can see how it's allocated here. If you are looking for a profitable investment that's going to bring adventure experiences to our entire community and be the first Laughing Lizard Adventure Park of many across the country, please reach out to me today to invest in the Laughing Lizard Adventure Park. Thank you.
I'm going to be describing to you tonight Glow Biomedical. My company, Glow Biomedical, is focused on glaucoma. It's the leading cause of irreversible blindness in the world, and it's very difficult to manage. In fact, all doctors can do to try to mitigate glaucoma damage is prescribe eye droplets that you have to take basically for the rest of your life to keep your eye pressure down. It affects over 3 million Americans and 80 million people worldwide. Here's the story. So I have a PhD in mechanical engineering, and I have 18 patents to my name. Prior to joining CBU in 2010, I worked for Raytheon, an aerospace corporation, as well as Alcon, a major eye care company in Irvine. And what I did is I brought high-tech companies to the market. When I got to CBU, I wanted to focus on this problem of glaucoma because I wasn't happy with the unmet medical needs, so I've been focusing on this research question right here. How can glaucoma be better managed? Came up with some intellectual property through CBU that I'll explain today. That's rolled into Glow Biomedical. What Glow Biomedical is offering is a pair of glasses with cameras inside the glasses that look at your eye, and they send the data wirelessly to a smartphone. The smartphone uses the imagery to figure out your eye pressure. Okay, we're leveraging existing off-the-shelf cameras, 1.6 millimeter diameter, same thing Toshiba uses for endoscopy. Proof of concept data, I'll show you a little bit of proof of concept data. This is from my lab at CBU, and I just actually got back from Hawaii this morning at 7 a.m. I presented this on Saturday, this data. It was very well received, and what you're going to see is 6 minutes of exercise causes eye pressure to lower in a healthy way, and you're going to see the expansion of the tissues. I'm going to go to the next slide, you're going to see the expansion. Going back to the low pressure, and now back to the high pressure. So if you can see that with your eye, definitely the smartphone app can quantify that. So through these eye pressure alerts, your phone can save your vision. You can prevent glaucoma. Imagine this impact. Okay, so using our device, let's say you get a text message. New family members arrived in your aging population. Okay, baby is here. On the top right here, you see what happens with glaucoma. Basically, you lose your vision from the outside in. It's progressed to the site to the point where all you can see is like looking through a tunnel. This doesn't have to happen. With our vision, we can actually save your vision, keep it preserved. Other people going after this space? Absolutely. There's a lot of implantable pressure sensors. You can look them up. Facial hardware, they're out of Switzerland, a contact lens. There's tonometers. The tonometers are $2,000 though, and they touch the cornea. The wearable contact lens, you can see how big the wearable hardware is. We don't need that. Okay, what our advantages are? We have patent pending technology through Cal Baptist here for the idea. We have a very seamless technology. So it's actually on the back side, so you don't see it. The only thing we really need is a little bit thicker frames. It's not going to look like Google Glass. In fact, we like to say vision technology made invisible. Other advantages. Low cost off-the-shelf parts. We're basically doing what's called modified COGS. Okay, modified off-the-shelf components. And we also get to leverage existing FDA approval because we're not the first people to use pressure for mitigating glaucoma. Development costs estimated at $3 million. Sorry, usually the projector is a little bit brighter. It's hard to see with this projector, but development cost is $3 million, coming from hopefully SBIRs for $1 million and investors for $2 million. That'll get us to our minimum viable product by 2020. Looking for FDA approval, we plan to do a 510K with supplemental data to show that our device is equivalent to an IOP sensor. And then by 2023, we hope to get reimbursement using the clinical data. This should bring us to $56 million per year in sales, which I'll break down on the next slide. So where does the money come from? So the monetization strategy is $150, $33 goes to Glow, which $10 is the cost of goods. And when you do the math, that's if 1.7 million per year is our expected volume, which I can explain during questions, and the net profit of 35 million. We expect over 2 million after the first 7 years in units and 80 million in sales. The $1 million comes from FDA trials and the initial R&D, half in hardware, half in software. Our customers are mainly optometrists and glaucoma specialists. This is our team. Me, we have a local software engineer. Michelle's our local business person, and then we're very happy to have Dr. Arthur sit at the Mayo Clinic. He's very excited about our product, and he's been walking us through the whole way. Huge unmet need, low development costs, patent pending, no neighbors we know of, and a practical and visible solution. Expected net sales of net profit 35 million per year. Thank you for your time.
We are Rival, a mobile sports app that connects athletes into finding competitive pickup basketball games in their area. We'll just start off by introducing myself. My name is Karan Amin, and I'm one of the co-founders of Rival, and I have a background in small business.
My name is Jasjeet Burke. I'm also the co-founder of Rival, and I just graduated from medical school.
So Jasjeet and I have been friends since we're about 10 years old, and we are avid basketball fans, so we like to go out and play competitive pickup basketball. And as you can see just by looking at us, neither one of us are collegiate level D1 athletes, nor do we have any aspirations to go play professionally. But we do have that admiration and that competitive drive within us. And so some of the problems that we face when we do go out and compete is going out and finding organized ways to find competitive pickup basketball games. And one thing that we another problem that we face is that there's no uncertainty as to who's going to be out there when we go out to find a pickup basketball game. Or there's no way to kind of foresee what type of competition we're going to face when we go out there and compete. And there's no way to consistently find new opponents to challenge on a daily basis.
At Rival, we believe we have the solution. You can hop on our format and schedule 3-on-3, 5-on-5, or any custom pickup games of your choice. A rating system actually allows you to filter your competition in advance to see if your skill levels match. In addition, game pages and chat services allow you to foster that competitive atmosphere that all athletes have. We feel that by pretty much introducing an extensive database of athletes on the platform will diversify their opposition network.
So the way people are currently finding pickup basketball games today is that they're playing in organized men's and women's basketball leagues, they're going to the YMCA, or they're showing up at local parks and local playgrounds, or they have a consistent group of friends that they pre-arranging games with. And the same problems that I discussed earlier still pertain to each one of these avenues.
Let's talk a little bit about our total addressable market. There's currently 15.5 million people that play pickup basketball in the United States alone. There's approximately 4.1 million individuals playing in organized leagues, and there's approximately 5.8 million individuals playing on a high school or college basketball team.
So let's take a look at a couple of screen grabs of our product. To the left, you'll see a game page, which will show the date, time, and location of the event. In the middle, you'll see player profiles, so you can scope out your competition before actually showing up to the park to play. And on the right, you'll see a leaderboard, so you can see the competition in your area.
Let's talk a little bit about our business plan. First and foremost, we want to populate Rival with as many competitive athletes as possible. Our next step would be to turn Rival into a multi-dimensional, multi-sport platform. And lastly, we want to supplement income with our Rival Sports apparel, from which we've received excellent feedback from celebrities, our users, and athletes as well.
So a little bit about our revenue model. We have 3 variables in which we plan to monetize our app, and the first one would be a subscription per sport. We want to introduce corporate partnerships as well as explore data mining.
Let's talk a little bit about our competition. Currently, there's 2 major players in this space. The first is Hoop Maps. The main issues with Hoop Maps is that there's frequent crashes, and they actually just recently brought up Android capability. There's no clear monetization structure, and they've actually diminished their ability to scale the way we can by choosing a name Hoop Maps, narrowing down to one single sport. The primary issue with Endalgo is that it's actually focused on pre-existing leagues, not the creation of dynamic, on-demand pickup basketball the way we are.
And so now that we talked about our competition, let's see what makes Rival different. So one of our main competitive advantages is that we have a partnership with Meta World Peace, formerly known as Ron Artest. He is a former Los Angeles Laker. He's an NBA champion, Defensive Player of the Year, and an All-Star. And with having him on our team, we have instant brand recognition, and with him also allows us the potential to have access to the Los Angeles Lakers, brand ambassadors, and sports insiders alike.
Another advantage we believe we have is our scalability. We believe that, first of all, the name Rival allows us to transition into multiple sports. We also believe that we can enhance our diverse user base this way as well. We can charge a different subscription per sport. In addition, we've received excellent feedback on our branding. We believe it's visually appealing, sleek, and conveys a competitive theme.
And we soft launched in December of 2017. We opened up to the public in the middle of January. And so far we've gotten a lot of great traction. We had a goal of getting 500 users by April 1st, and we've surpassed that. And so far we are at about approximately 865 users. And we've just been on an upward trend since we started, and we hope to keep that going.
Judges, we're looking for $750,000 in order to have 18 months of runway to help develop native app, enhance our ability for user acquisition. We want to bring on corporate and brand ambassadors. So how about you guys join us today and find your rival?
Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Wong, and I'm a certified registered nurse anesthetist. In addition, I'm the inventor and patent holder of the double lock, sterile entry, intravenous port, and syringe system. Have you ever heard of a situation where a patient comes into the hospital or a surgery center to have a treatment or surgery, and then they end up with an unrelated infection? Well, this actually happens hundreds of thousands of times each year. One of the contributing factor to these healthcare-associated infections is that healthcare professionals that draw up the medications at the point of care, in the operating room, at the bedside, or out in the field inadvertently contaminate the syringe tip or the intravenous port and administer that bacteria into the patient. The World Health Organization states that healthcare-associated infections are a global problem. The solution would be to replace the current intravenous ports and syringes or the single lock medication delivery systems with the double lock sterile entry intravenous port and syringe system. The syringe and the intravenous port have a permanent cover so that the healthcare provider does not need to use any aseptic technique, and it would maintain the fluid path in a sterile fashion from the time the medication is drawn up until the time the medication is administered. Our product launch model is currently, we're in the prototype development stage. After laboratory testing, we believe our proof of concept would be completed. That we would follow that up with operating room simulator testing, FDA approval, clinical testing, and at that point we believe we would be able to accept orders for the product and then build a manufacturing facility, a distribution network, and a healthcare facility transition team. So the secret sauce to our product is that I have 40 years of experience as a registered nurse and a certified registered nurse anesthetist. This is a novel approach where we would apply double lock technology. We have a dual mandate of decreasing infection, liability, and costs, and on the other hand, improving the quality of life for patients. And this has been inspired by practical use of the current product and its limitations to protect patients, and I also have a patent on the product. So our marketing and sales strategy would be to approach who we believe would be the early adopters, the CEOs of the cancer institutions and the children's hospitals. After that, we would roll it out to larger healthcare systems such as Kaiser, Tenet, Veterans Administration, and the active military. So if you can imagine, currently a healthcare provider needs to find an alcohol swab or an alcohol impregnated cap and screw it onto the intravenous port. Despite the fact that they do this, we still have unacceptably high infection rates. The current competitors include Johnson & Johnson, 3M, Becton Dickinson, CareFusion, Vibron, Baxter, Bard, Codan, Monoject, Terumo, and Hospira. Our goal is to take over this entire space and be that disruptor company that controls all of it. Our team includes a research team, a business team, and 3 corporate partners that includes the Coachella Valley Economic Partnership. Currently, all of our investment sources have been my personal investment, and we're going to apply for a small business innovation research grant. We do know that the projected market is 140 million intravenous sets, 450 million syringes that are sold in the United States each year. So if you can appreciate each product would cost $1, we're trying to solve a $10 billion problem with $600 million. Additional applications include 3-way stopcocks, vial spikes, microbore tubing, and alveolar extractors. And in addition, we do know that there is a global market. In conclusion, the real opportunity for innovation in the medical consumable space is in the reduction of infection, liability, and costs. Thank you.
So I went into the VR conference in Los Angeles, and I walked up to two kids that I saw sitting on a couch, and they had virtual reality goggles on. And I realized there was something strange and I needed to pay attention to this. These two kids were playing in a world that was created by adults. They were constrained by this world. They were playing probably together in a way that these two kids are probably taking on a dragon. And they were doing it in their own world, even though they're sitting at the same couch. It's at that time that I realized there's a major opportunity here, because there's 1,000 people watching this. 1,000 people with their own thoughts, their own ideas, disconnected from this kid's play space. There's a DJ playing. Everything in the real world was against these kids playing in this environment. The market is incredible right now. If someone can invent a technology that brings parent and kids together. If this technology is just as exciting as all the other technology that's out there, there's a huge market for this. Burble is exactly that. What we strive to do is bring parent and child together in a way that creates the child's imagination, gives back the child their thought, their process of creating something, their imagination. I'm really, truly setting out to just give curiosity back to the kid. We have two components and one vision that answers this. First thing I set out to do is set up a lab, and I just took on, how can I recreate the way that we tell stories? How can I take it on in a brand new way? We took out all the details out of a story, and we created a new form of storytelling called minimally defined immersion. We partnered with UCLA, and we worked with linguistic experts, and we decided that we can change the way we tell stories. When we proved it with hundreds of autistic children and everybody from adults all the way down to the parent, we realized that this works. How do we deliver this to a home? That's where our product Ava comes in. Ava is the way that we can create movement and texture of lights and sounds in your house, in your kid's room, to where now you can tell stories in a new way that gives the imagination back to that child. We see our first product being something that just has a certain set of stories, has the Ava tent environment, has environments that your kid can play in that use the characters they've developed in their own mind in the story. There's something incredibly powerful with this, and we're a content creation company, and that's where we want to live. And that $30 subscription, that's where we want to go from here. Truck shows up, box shows up at your door, you unpack your tent, you put your tent in your kid's room, and all of a sudden you have a space where parent and kid can co-create together, whether it's playtime or it's story, and take on a brand new technology in a way that works to benefit the parent-child relationship. Apple just said last week that they were going to put $1 billion towards a 2020 solution to bring an AR/VR solution to us, to help us as parents with our kids. This is getting worse. We have Stephanie, who's a director of a neurodevelopmental center that's on our team. She put together a literature review and came up with this chart right here that's backed completely by publications. There's a huge market for this, and we're ready to take it on. You take a regular story that's unbelievably great, and the first thing we do is we take out everything that's descriptive. Who came up with a dragon? Some adult, not a kid, right? But we teach all of our kids that a dragon's imaginative. We don't need to say forest, and when we take all this stuff, all of a sudden we give some sort of a feeling or emotion cue that goes to the writers and goes to the lights and sounds experts that are on our team. The writer then takes their story and uses the same words and replaces those descriptive words with non-descriptive words. Nobody knows what a linotor is, so let's use that. The lighting and sound experts then go back and say, I'm going to take those cues and I'm going to create those environments, those gaps in the story, and I'm going to do it in a way that works. Our team is the experts. This is everybody that brings together, and a diverse team is how we bring this together. We're looking for traction. We have 20 betas that we're ready to launch, and we're going to do a beta test where we know exactly how to make this work, and we're going to take this traction and kick it off to a July Kickstarter. The 1% of the 1% is what we're going for. We think there's a market out there that's absolutely ready for this. These are parents that read to their kids every night. The 1% of 1% is what we're going for. We partnered with Red Door Interactive and Reed Carr, the CEO there. He's going to help us pick this market, and when we launch this on Kickstarter, we're going to know exactly what 1% of 1% we're going to hit. Help us come together and do this. And let's increase curiosity with our kids, and let's bring back the power of imagination, and let's give it back to our child, and let's stand for something that I think we can do. I think some kid out there can solve cancer. We just haven't given them the right problem. Thank you for your time.
Unfortunately, I didn't want to make any. So everyone wants to know as an entrepreneur, how do I make a successful startup? So they go and ask, hey, how do I make a successful startup? And as anyone who's a big fan of South Park knows, the key to a successful startup is very simple. Step 1, have a great idea. Step 2, not really sure about that, but step 3 is profit. That may not work for a lot of people here. In that same way, moving on, it's really great to see this area go in and try and create just the spirit of innovation. How to go and create the tech scene here. When I graduated from UCR, there was none of that. When I graduated, it was, well, you can go to the Bay Area if you want. And so I'm really happy to see that. And people say, hey, okay, how do you go and create a tech scene in an area? And that's actually a much simpler equation with no unknowns, right? What you need is companies that are looking to hire great technical talent, and you need great technical talent. And how do you get the companies with great technical talent? Obviously, you have the great technical talent there. How do you get the people with the great technical talent there? You have companies that need technical talent there. I think I see a deadlock in that circle too. So, kind of talking about SendGrid's story, going from concept to where it was. As he mentioned, all three of us, the three founders, myself, Isaac Saldana, and Jose Lopez, all graduated from UCR. Just a second here. UCR Alumni Association, no, don't want that. So we graduated. The starting of SendGrid was many, many years after that. None of us attended classes there together. But when the idea finally came about, it was, well, what do you do to start? And fortunately, there were a few accelerator programs that could be applied to in order to make that happen. None of them here, of course, but just ideas of kind of our path. So there was Y Combinator and Techstars out of Boulder. We applied to both. Y Combinator turned us down. If anyone wants to know the history on that, there's a very funny Quora question about that. Why did Y Combinator reject SendGrid? Bastards. And fortunately, Techstars admitted us in, right? People will go and say, okay, so wait, you guys are anyone who really knows the history, knows about SendGrid, but not necessarily the history, is like, hey, you're that Denver-based email delivery company, right? That's what all of our press says, all those kinds of things. But the kind of way that we got there is rather sneaky. We got accepted there into the Techstars Boulder program. Okay, great. So they're there to help us, give us ideas, give us mentors, all that kind of great stuff. And so we get in, we go through the program, we meet a lot of great people. We're done, right? Okay, the accelerator's done, but our business is still going. We need to have people to give us advice. Well, hey, we got mentors out in Boulder. We need people to give us money. Hey, our mentors out in Boulder know people who will give people money to people who are out in Boulder. And next thing you know, yeah, we got a Boulder office. All right, and then people will go and say, well, but you're that Denver-based company. What happened there? All right? And basically what happened there is we were able to hire people in Denver, and we were not able to hire them nearly as quickly in Boulder. And as any of you entrepreneurs here who are just starting up your companies will hopefully discover, there is no harder challenge for your company than hiring great talent. Nothing. You want to go and find more customers? The way to find more customers is hire great talent who can get you more customers. You want to survive some of the worst disasters your company may deal with? Hire great customer success people. It is all about your talent. The people that you hire are your company. They are your business. They are your key to success. And I know that my idol Elon Musk went and said that humans are overrated, but I totally disagree. I think that humans are what make us successful. In terms of what makes a successful tech community, it's kind of a little of both, right? You've got that deadlock problem, the chicken and the egg, and really the answer is it doesn't matter where you start, as long as you start somewhere, right? Riverside has talent. There's lots of us out here who are like, yeah, I like Riverside. I've lived here for over 20 years. And I think that it's a great area, and there are lots of great people. All that the people need is the companies and the people to bring them together. And so I'm super, super happy to see the area going through and doing the effort to go and make that happen. In terms of for the entrepreneurs, I love kind of entrepreneur stuff. I love the just the excitement. It's the gamble, right? It's the pitch. It's like, hey, what about this thing? Can I actually get that done? Right? It's the challenge. In terms of that step 2 for the success formula, right? To me, what I've found is step 2 is really a whole lot of iterating and going back to step 1. A little known fact is that what SendGrid is today has very little to do with what we originally envisioned and what we pitched to get into Techstars. I never was able to get our product people after we started out, and our mentors are like, well, that's very nice that you're wanting to do all that thing, but you kind of need this other product over here in order before you go do it. Oh, okay, we'll go do that. Well, that was successful. Okay, that gets work. That takes energy. And then you move on, and it's like, okay, next thing. And I never was able to convince our product people, hey, let's go back to this other. They're like, yeah, well, we can make more money over here. Such a hard argument to win. The truth of the matter is that success in entrepreneurship isn't the particular idea that you have. It's the iteration. It's the willingness to say, okay, yeah, what did I learn from trying that? And what's the next thing that I should try? What's next? And always that's the case. It's not about one thing. It's about just the experience along the way. And that's the great thing about entrepreneurship is it's the fun experience along the way. It's the doing it and saying, I do it because I have to. I'm doing it because it's fun. I'm doing it because I just can't imagine doing anything else and enjoying it. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of great pitches tonight from people who are in that place of, hey, what can I do to enjoy this instead of just make it work? Thank you.
Service Mom. Okay. Hello. Hello, I'm here with Anush with Service Mob. I have one question. What are you going to do next? After being first place, what is your plan next? What's your mission next?
I think the next thing first is to have a great dinner and celebrate because I'm super hungry. But after that, it's just getting back to work. You know, there's our customers are calling on us to deliver for them every day, and that's what an entrepreneur is being all about. You know, we live for our customers, and you know, tomorrow we're going to celebrate tonight, but tomorrow it's back to the grind, and we're going to do our best to serve our customers and find new potential customers to spread our technology.
Awesome. We're going to do a little plug here. Where could our watchers find your service?
Well, you could go to servicemob.com to learn more about our service. We sell mostly to businesses, so we're business to business, so it's not something available for general consumers yet. But definitely go to our website, learn more about us, send us an email, say hello. We love to hear from people and their experiences. Tell us about your customer experience and how we can make it better. Anytime you call into customer service and something doesn't go right, we want to know, because that's how we can improve our product. That's what we can do better. So please find us online at www.servicemob.com and drop a line. We'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hello, I'm here today with Mr. Pat. Here with the project Techsploration. Here, one of my questions is, what's your next plan? After this, what are you going to do?
Well, we're busy working on the TV show now. I mean, we've got all this support and we got a little money. And so we're going to use that to put the show together. And we want to do the first pilot show, which means the first show of the series, right? So we're really excited about that.
So I just want you to do a little quick promo. Where could our watchers find or be informed when we're going to see your next pilot TV show?
Sure. Well, one thing you can do is go to mrpat.org. That's pat.org, and there you can find out about the show and also sign up for our mailing list. So then you'll just get updates, on everything.
Thank you so much for your time.